Sorry guys, we had a bit of a technical problem there. So Craig Harrison from Alloy here. I've just run through very quickly the slides you may have seen. We've spoken about the housekeeping. We're going to be recording the webinar. We've spoken about who's speaking today, and I'm now going to throw over to David from Jabra to talk to you about the Jabra range.
Hi everyone, my name is David Piggott. I'm the Managing Director of Jabra for Australia and New Zealand. And I'd like to introduce to you who Jabra are, where we come from. And then I'll hand over to Jess, who's going to introduce some of our product range and talk about the kind of uniques of what we offer. So just to start with, Jabra is part of a large organization called Group Nord, based out of Copenhagen in Denmark. It's a $2 billion US Danish company, and it covers three main areas of business. So as you can see from this slide on the top of it is ReSound. And ReSound, it actually represents about 60% of our revenue, so it's a major part of our business. And they are market leaders in hearing aids and medical test equipment. Now the beautiful thing about that and why it's very important to the rest of our business is that we share R&D facilities across ReSound and Jabra. And if you think of the intricacies of the design of a product that goes into a hearing aid, the miniaturization, the comfort, the fact that it really is a life-changing device, and all of that goes into the development of our products. And Jess will talk later about the Stealth, which is the smallest, lightest professional-grade headset on the market, and has only become available because of the miniaturization of technology, which we specialize on in ReSound. So that's the top area, the big kind of cash cow for GN. The second area of the business is Jabra, and Jabra is split into two areas, and the area that we represent is the professional grade. And this is, we kind of have a profound understanding of the business, office and contact center side of the market. And the other area that we look at is the consumer grade. And from our consumer side, we are specializing in the sports and the massive market that is developing of what we call hearables. So if you look at the consumer grade, we already have things like motion sensors in our headsets. So one of the products we have is called the Coach, and the motion sensor kind of barks at you as you're doing your exercises to tell you whether you're doing enough press-ups or sit-ups and keeps you going. The other product we have is the Pulse, which is a heart rate monitor. And again, that is used by, the heart rate monitor is used by athletes across the world. The Australian Olympic group that are over at Rio right now for the Paralympics have been using the Jabra Pulse to train with, so we're very proud of that, very proud to support the Australian effort over there. Now again, the important aspect is that we share the research and development across all of them. And what is very exciting for us is the development of the hearable market. We reckon the hearable market, the market reckon the hearable market is going to be worth $16 billion globally over the next 5 years. And there is no other business in the world that is better positioned to take advantage of this, because we have the medical side, we have the professional side, and we have the consumer side. We also have extremely strong links with the Microsofts, the Apples, the Amazons, and the Googles of this world to help develop an integrated program to make sure that their hearable side of the world with Series and Cortanas work perfectly well. So that's kind of an introduction of who we are, where we come from. It's working. So if I introduce you now to our vision, and the vision of Jabra is to be a leader in intelligent audio solutions that transform lives through the power of sound. That's a very bold vision. You'd be disappointed actually if it wasn't a bold vision. But I'll break it down a little bit for you. The important aspects are leader. Now the first thing is to be a leader. It doesn't say to be number one. It says to be a leader because it is all about pioneering where this market is going, both from the contact center and office side and the entire development of the hearables market. We were the very first to put a Bluetooth headset out into the market. We're the first people to have a heart rate monitor in a headset, the first people to have a motion sensor in the headset. We can get your VO2 max sensor and your temperature out of your ear. We can actually identify you. Your ear and your ear canal is unique to you as a person. So in theory, you can identify them. You can make sure they've got a heart rate. You can make sure they're moving. You can see that these people are alive. All of this capability comes out of the skills and knowledge we have about hearing and audiology. The intelligent audio solutions, it's more than just a headset. If you look at our range for the office side, we developed a product with Deutsche Telekom, funny enough, over in Germany. They have a heavily unionized contact center, and they need to make sure that the volume levels within the contact center are kept at a certain level. Now, you can obviously do that using the headset, so we have some very clever technology to monitor and maintain decibel levels within the contact center, going straight through to the agent. But they also wanted to monitor just the ambient sound. And so we built with them a product called the Noise Guide, which is a decibel meter with a traffic light capability that shows the office and the environment how loud it is, so that you can basically monitor what you're doing and how you're operating. And if you look at where businesses are going with activity-based working and the ability to have collaboration areas and quiet areas, the products such as a Noise Guide fall beautifully into that. And the reason I'm talking about it is the fact that it is an intelligent audio solution. It goes beyond just being a headset. Now, the third area of this vision is about transforming lives through the power of sound. Now, that is a really bold statement, but it's one that we live by. Jabra absolutely believes that we transform lives through the power of sound. If you look at the simple side of that, we make hearing aids. You seriously transform people's lives by giving them the ability to hear. We were the first and still the only people to have a fully integrated hearing aid working with an iPhone. So we have videos on the websites where you have grandparents who've never been able to talk to their grandchild that lives on the other side of the planet. They can now use the phone to have a conversation with them. It's a beautiful story. The lady that you see here is a lady called Marion Hulch. And Marion was in a car accident, a horrific car accident that broke her spine, or very badly injured her spine. She then got into a very depressed state. She got up to 137 kilos, and she realized that she was killing herself, and she was killing herself through the feeling of being a victim of the situation she was in. She then went out for a walk, and she took the dog for a walk. And she went from one post to the next, and then she said, maybe if I can run to the next post. And so she kind of hobbled along and ran to the next post. And she started just building up on it. She went to see a personal trainer as part of a physio, and they built a program for her. And the program involved measuring her heart rate as part of her training program. The physio recommended using the pulse, and she's used the pulse to get to, I mean, look at her now, she's an extremely fit lady. She is a triathlete. She's representing Denmark in the World Championships, and we sponsor her and support her because we have helped transform her life with the power of sound. It's a very grand statement to say that we did it. I mean, she's a very motivated lady, but she worked with us to help develop the Jabra product and help move this forward so that we did transform her life. So that is our vision, to be a leader in intelligent audio solutions and transform lives through the power of sound. Ooh, next one. Now, this next slide is what we do. And if you break down the intelligent audio solutions, it breaks down into three main areas. The first one is a very simple concept for you to get your head around, and it's hear more. You know, we're bloody good actually at making headsets and speakers, and we've been doing it for a very long time. Our company is now 149 years old. We're the oldest business on the planet that have been making headsets and speakerphones. the simple side of hearing more is that we are absolute masters at speakers and microphones and making sure that the speaker array and the microphone array is there to deliver voice and sound to you to help you hear more. The second aspect of that, though, is to do more. Now, I'll go into in a little bit more detail about how we've evolved one of our products called the Evolve. But productivity, it's quite an interesting stat. If you look at productivity since 1952, although we have improved all of the capabilities, I mean, I'm sitting in a room right now, we've got 3 laptops, we've got 3 smartphones, we've got I look behind us, we've got a bank of 6 fantastic looking screens. We have more technology now than we have ever had, and yet we are 5 times less productive today than we were in 1952. And the reason for that is because we get multitasking, we kind of do too many things at any time, and disturbance, and I'll go into this a little bit more detail. But with our intelligent audio solutions, we actually make people become more productive. So it's not just a headset, it's a productivity tool. And the final aspect of this is the be more. So we hear more because we've got a really good product, we do more because we're helping you become more productive, and then the be more. We have links into the Black Dog Institute, which is a wonderful charity. I don't know if people are aware of it. It's a wonderful charity that does a lot of research into mental health. And what you find is mental health is a massive problem within business because people get distressed that they are not able to be productive. They go into work, they get disturbed multiple times, and they end up not being able to do what they need to do. What we have found is through the use of our technology, you look at Marion Hulch, who has now moved from being, in her own words, a victim of circumstance, to being an international athlete competing at the top level, to, we'll talk about a guy called Peter, who is a CEO of a large organization who was getting extremely stressed by the fact he couldn't operate. The headset that's in this picture is the Evolve 80, which Jess will go through in more detail, which has active noise cancellation and a busy light, which enables you to build a cone of silence over yourself so you can actually get on with work in a very loud environment. So this is what we aim to do. Intelligent audio solutions let you hear more, do more, and be more than you ever thought possible. Now, let's see if the next one works. So if I just go through a few, that was an introduction of who we are, by the way. So what we'll go through now is a few of the big things that are happening in the market, which most people are aware of. It's just an introduction to where we're going and what we're doing. I'll then go through a few insights into the working environment, and then I'll hand over to Jess to go through some of our products in more detail. If you look at the market that we work in, cloud is obviously the biggest thing ever. I mean, my kids yesterday were all updating their iPhones on iOS, they were all upset that they couldn't get the download properly. But what they don't understand is that everything is happening. Their phone is connected to the cloud. All of their music, all of their photos, all of their connections to their friends is all now cloud-based, and that is represented both in the consumer space and the business space. Look at digitalization. It is where everything is going. The Internet of Things, or the Internet of Everything, depending on whose tag you want to get, is dramatically changing the world. If you look at the driverless car, it's going to have a massive effect, not only on our personal safety while we're driving, but who's going to be a cab driver, a truck driver, a train driver, an airline pilot. All of these roles change over time, which means it's more and more important for us as knowledge workers to understand where the market is going, and that knowledge is a key differentiator in the employment space. If you then look at mobility, Australia led the charge back with 3G and 4G. 5G is coming. I think Telstra are operating 5G at the Commonwealth Games up in the Gold Coast next year. It'll be the first trial for Ericsson's 5G network, I think, anywhere in the world. But mobility has absolutely changed the way that we operate. If you think, well, 15 years ago, people had offices. They had a dedicated office space. They had 50 square meters to operate in. Now, activity-based working is sold as a great productivity tool, but really it's a financial decision. You know, you are spending 30% less on real estate so that people who are out in the field don't need a desk space. So if you look at cloud, digitalization, and mobility, all of these things are combining to dramatically change the way that we work and operate in the market. Now, if you look at what we've done since 2012, so some building work going on in the background. Back in 2012, we ran a survey, and we surveyed 5,000 office knowledge workers, and these were all in our global accounts. So part of Jabra's business look after the major global accounts, the likes of HP, SAP, Coca-Cola, big organizations across the globe. And we interviewed 5,000 people back in 2012 and again in 2015. And as you can see from this map, it was a very diverse geography that we went across. You know, from the east coast of, so the west coast of the States, all the way over to Japan, through China, all the way down to Australia and New Zealand. But what was fascinating is that the results are pretty much the same across the globe. And this is that 69% of people interviewed state that disturbance in the office has the biggest negative impact on their productivity. So it didn't matter whether you were in Beijing or another place beginning with B, I can't think, Birmingham. It didn't matter where you were, 69% of people had the same issue, that office space, 69% of them said that disturbance is the biggest issue that they have. If you add to that, there was a survey done, actually not a survey, a report done by the University of California that said knowledge workers, and they're our biggest market, knowledge workers, interrupted every 10 minutes. But when you are interrupted, it takes you 23 minutes to get back to the task. Now, if you do your math there, if you interrupted every 10 minutes and it takes you 23 minutes to get back to what you're doing, it means you're never fully productive. And these insights are just part of the major report that we did that led to the development of our UC product suite. The Evolve, which Jess will go through in a minute, was developed to hit exactly this market. And the reason I'm telling you this is because when Jabra are developing products, they're not developing products, or we're not developing products just so they look pretty. They're based on the insights that come out of the market. And the market tells us how the market is changing, working with the likes of Cisco and Microsoft and all of the other UC vendors in the market are working on how people are changing the way that they operate. We work with them, we get insights out to the market. When you look at the Evolve, it is the first device that has a busy light built into it so that people can actually see that you are on a call, so no one needs to come and tap you on the shoulder and do that funny whisper, you're on a call. Because you can see you on a call. You can also set it up so that when you want to appear busy and you want to get on with some business, some work, you can set your Outlook to be busy and it will shine the busy light so that people know not to disturb you. It's a stereo device that plugs in by a 3.5mm jack into your music player. So it allows you to listen to music while working with a busy light on so that you can concentrate on what you're doing. The point of this, though, is that everything that we do is designed to ensure we improve the productivity of the workforce. Oh, can I come back? Now, this guy is a guy called Peter, and he's the CEO of Aroma Coffee in Europe. And I mentioned him earlier because he was the guy, or one of the guys that we worked with very closely, because he was starting to have some real problems with the work-life balance, and it was causing these real serious mental issues. He worked with us on the Evolve, and he's now a spokesperson really for the Evolve AG. And when we finish this, I'll ask Craig to also put some links on to some videos, because he does a really nice video for us, which he scripted himself, that allowed him to concentrate so at the work he could get on with what he does at work. But the most important part of his life is on the screen right now. He's a father of 2 children. And when he finishes work, the only reason he's working is to provide for his family. And it allows him to concentrate on work when he's at work and concentrate on the family when he gets home, and know that when he does get home, he's done everything he needs to do. And this is why the Jabra product range is so differentiated in the market, because it builds upon productivity and it ensures that people can get on with exactly what they need to do. Now I'm going to wrap up my little bit to say, when you look at the product range that we have, we've done an awful lot of work as well around what we call the power of conversation. And it's an important consideration when you're looking at your customers and the way that they operate. So not everybody that works in a business operates in the same way, but they do all have the same work modes. It's just a question of how much of their day is spent in each of the work modes. So in the top left-hand corner, we have the conversation. Now, the conversation is obviously a key part of every contact center. They're professionals, they sit on the phone for 8 hours a day and they have conversations. On the top right, we have concentration. Now what's interesting is those two are exactly the same thing, because when you're on a conversation, you need to be able to concentrate on it. If you talk to people who are selling holidays, a cruise operation that we work with, they're selling $10,000, $15,000 holidays. Their job is to try and understand exactly what it is that you're trying to achieve on your holiday. Is it a retirement? Is it a once-in-a-lifetime trip? So they're concentrating on the call at the time to understand what is it that this person really wants out of this holiday to make it the best thing that's ever happened, so they recommend us and increasing their promoter score. So being able to concentrate on the conversation. When you're looking at the bottom right, we have collaboration. One of the issues with most conference calls is setting it up. They're getting it easy to work. So we've built a speaker phone system which is the absolute best on the market for a mobile type speaker system, where we have the 510, which is a small product which again Jess will go through in a little bit more detail, which USBs into your laptop or Bluetooths into your phone, so you can set up an immediate conference call, or the 810, which goes into a larger room that copes with 10 to 15 people, and you have the immediacy of setting up a conference call. And then you look at the communication side, where you are following up on the conversation with email conversation and IM. Now the whole point of this is that all of your workers have different modes, and there's not one headset that will cover everybody within the business, or one device that will cover everyone in the business. But what we offer through our partners such as Alloy is the ability for us to work with you to understand exactly what is the requirement for your customer and make sure we match the right device to the right end user. And that is where I'm going to kind of wrap up my bit for today. Hopefully, if anyone's got any questions, we're going to have a Q&A session at the end, and more than happy to take any questions from anybody.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone. My name's Jess Reynolds, and I'm the Channel Account Manager here based in Melbourne. So I'm actually going to touch on our product range in a little bit more detail for you all. What I'm going to do, though, at the start of each slide is I'm actually going to break it down for you as to which user type is going to be associated with those products to make it easiest for you guys to understand. So the first slide that we've got here is the Evolve series that David's obviously touched on quite a bit throughout his presentation. Now the Evolve series was designed for those task and knowledge workers. They come in a range of devices. Obviously you've got 5 different main products there, which start at the Evolve 20, which is your basic, cheap, cheerful, standard USB headset. All variants come in either a mono or a stereo. And when we say stereo, that is a full stereo, so left and right. But yeah, so you then move up to the Evolve 30, which has just now been re-released. It now includes a 3.5mm jack for connectivity to your mobile phone. The Evolve 20 and the Evolve 30 are headsets, if that makes sense. Once you're jumping up to the Evolve 40, you are looking at more of a product which is designed to look more like headphones. I'm certain you can all see on the image there. They do have quite a consumer styling to them. I was just in a meeting yesterday with a customer and pulled out the Evolve 40, and they've piped up and gone, looks like Beats by Dre. So they're very, very popular because simply of those highlights. So you look at the orange cord, the orange highlight on the headset itself. It allows people to get that return on investment by people actually wanting to use a headset. There has previously been hesitation on unified communications rollouts. for people to use a headset because they aren't so used to the traditional handset. And when you do style a headset the way that we have here, it increases that return on investment for you. The next part about the Evolve 40 that David touched on as well that is fantastic is that busy light. The busy light functionality is just amazing. The fact that you're able to manually turn it on as well when you just want to focus on a task adds even more. It's now also updating Skype. So if you press that button manually to turn on your busy light, it will update your presence to busy and allow it to send a signal to everybody that you are busy and not to bother you at the moment. You then jump up to the Evolve 65, which is also by far our most popular UC device at the moment. This is a completely Bluetooth variant. The device looks identical to the 40, it's just cordless. We do use a class 1.5 dongle with this, and we always recommend that our end users use the dongle for Bluetooth devices with their laptop. This is because this will then override the Bluetooth that is built into your laptop, give you all your call control functionality, and just give you a better range, whereas standard Bluetooth in a laptop would give you maybe 5 or 10 meters. This will give you up to 30. Finally, the Evolve 80, which is the bead knees, is our top of the range. It provides full active noise cancelling. Once again, you've got your USB and your 3.5mm jack connection. It's got the busy light functionality built in exactly the same as the 40, as well as that intelligent call transferring functionality, which means that you are able to transfer calls on Skype and Cisco from your PC to your mobile simply by unplugging that 3.5mm jack. So that's our Evolve series. Happy to dive into any more detail that anybody wants at the end of this presentation. The next section that we've got here is our Speak series. Now this is for our collaborative workers, as David mentioned. So we've got the Speak 510 and the 810. The Speak 510 is by far the most popular personal Bluetooth speakerphone on the market. It's something that we offer as part of generally a road warrior kit. So if you're in and out of the office and you could potentially need to have a meeting anywhere, it's the perfect device. It doesn't have any power requirements. All it requires is the battery that gets recharged via the USB cable that is permanently tethered to the device, so you're not going to lose it. You can pair it up to your mobile phone in 2-3 seconds. It's got all your call control functionality built in on the device as well. The biggest issue that we had with the 510 though is it handles maybe up to 6 people at the most around the device with its 360-degree mics. But the biggest issue that we had was people were going, we just want it to be that little bit bigger. It's so fantastic. Can you make it a bit bigger for us? So we brought out the 810. The 810 is a permanent meeting room device. It's about 3 times the size of the 510. Offers Kensington lock, so you can lock it down to your desk. It also offers NFC for all of those people who don't use iPhones in the world. So that's near-field communication, so instant tap-to-pair. And it can store up to 800 devices in memory, and it can connect to 2 simultaneously at any one time, as with any of our Bluetooth devices. It also offers the ability to charge your phone off at the front if you want while you're in a meeting. It is a permanent meeting room device, though. It's not a mobile device such as the 510. It is much more of a permanent meeting room device. But the simplisticness of it is fantastic. You're able to connect in via either the Bluetooth, USB, or the 3.5mm jack on the Speak 810. So those are our collaborative devices. We're then going to jump across to our Bluetooth devices. Now these devices are designed for mobility staff, so people who are in and out of the office more than they're actually in the office. I look at myself as one of these users. I use the Stealth UC every single day. It's all I use when I'm in the car. My car has an inbuilt car kit. I don't use it. I use the Stealth over that. The reason being, Stealth provides me with 6-hour talk time. Once again, all of our Bluetooth devices micro USB to charge, which is fantastic, so you're never going to get stuck without a charger. It is really, really comfortable to wear. I don't know if any of you have ever tried using an ear hook before. Ear hooks are great for people whose ears they suit and for people who don't wear glasses. If you wear any hooks, such as the motion you see with glasses, it can become quite painful over a period of time. The Stealth UC actually sits in your ear and has different sized ear gels to suit all ears. I haven't found one person yet who hasn't liked the Stealth UC. The other fantastic thing though with the Stealth UC is it offers full integration with Google Now, Siri and Cortana, which makes it completely legal for you guys to use your phones while you're driving. There's a little button on the bottom of the headset. You push this button and it forces your phone into any one of those modes and you can say your commands. Whether you want to give me a call or you want to search for a local restaurant, you can make your phone do that, which, as I said, makes it completely legal to use your phone whilst driving. The Motion You See is a fantastic product. This product offers you a 9-hour talk time, once again micro USB to charge, and it's got some really clever little smarts in it. It does also integrate with Google Now, Siri and Cortana. But the really cool little smarts that this headset has built in is obviously the volume control is actually touch, but it's actually got a sensor built in that senses if you've left it on your desk. It senses whether you're wearing it or not. And if you're not wearing it, it puts itself into an auto sleep mode just to conserve battery. And as soon as you then go and grab that device and pick it up off the desk, it automatically turns itself back on and repairs to your mobile phone immediately. So you're never going to be wasting your battery. So obviously these are our mobility devices here. And our Biz series is our contact center and traditional office devices. The Biz 1500 has just been released. It is our entry-level corded headset. All of the Biz series offer noise cancellation. Obviously, as you go up the range, you're going to get a few different bits that are a little bit more premium. The Biz 1500 is your entry level, offers noise cancelling. Your foam ear cushions comes in a mono or a duo design. Very, very simple, cheap, cheerful. If you just want to get into the headset space, it's a great device. Then we're going to jump up to the Biz 2300, which has been out now for about 2 years. Fantastic product. It took a lot of technologies from the previous Biz 2400 design, which included a Kevlar cord. So that cord is actually made of bulletproof vest material. And I don't know if any of you guys have dealt with people in contact centres. They sit there and they spin the cord while they're not on call, or even while they're on a call. And what happens is that cord will then snap and wires will be exposed and the headset has to be replaced. The Kevlar means that that's never going to happen. If any of you ever end up having a meeting with me around the Biz series, I'll do a demo for you where I basically flatten out the headband of both the Biz 23 and 2400. They are the most durable headsets on the market. I don't know if you can also see the really nice part of the design with the Biz 2300 is it's got a slight bend in the headband just above the ears. People think that that's a nice Nordic design feature. It is, but at the same time, it's actually about redistributing the pressure. So people who are on calls for 8 hours a day don't have the headset pushing on their ears. It actually just sits really nicely on their ears. And finally, the Biz 2400 Mark II, which has just been re-released at the start of this year, is our premium contact center headset. Comes with 3 wearing styles in the box for the mono. The duo offers just the one wearing style, which is the headband. Once again, it's virtually unbreakable. It also does come with a 3-year warranty. It is the only product in our range that comes with a 3-year warranty. Everything else is a 2-year. Very, very durable and stylish design. It's the lightest weight headset on the market at the moment for contact centers as well. So that's there. And then finally, we've got our Pro Series. So our Pro Series are designed for your office knowledge workers, people who want a wireless desk device for when they're in the office. You're thinking your EAs, your PAs, reception staff, or even just general office workers. The Pro 900 series is your single connection option. So Pro 920 is by far our biggest seller. It's a great entry-level device. Can connect to your desk phone. If you want something similar that connects to the PC, go for your Pro 930. Once again, mono or stereo design available in both. Pro 9450 is the nice next little step up, which offers dual connection, so PC and desk phone, offering up to 150 metres of range from your base station and up to a 9-hour talk time. So we'll get you through that whole day on one charge. The other really nice thing with all of our Pro series is they do have a fast recharge capability. So if you do happen to leave your headset off the base station overnight, chuck it on the charger for 30 minutes and you've got half a battery. Finally, the be-all and end-all of our DEX products is our Pro 9470. This device here offers triple connection, so PC, desk phone and mobile. Once again, 150 metres of range. It's got a touch volume control as well as mute. It's got a multi-function button on the back of the headset as well. The other really nice thing with the 9400 series is it does then offer you, the 9470 specifically, is it does then offer you a colour touchscreen, which allows you to see everything that the headset is actually doing, what device you're connected to at that moment, and you can even merge calls or conference calls. So say somebody called you on your mobile and on another person on your desk phone, you can actually merge those calls via the headset, which is a pretty cool little functionality. It's not spoken about nearly enough. But those are our products. There's obviously a lot more products that go along with all this range, such as our QD cords, our EHS cords for remote answering and all the accessories. If you've got any questions on that, feel free to go through to the guys at Alloy, or you can always contact myself for assistance as well. And that was everything that I wanted to chat about.
Fantastic. Thanks for that, guys.